Hi, it's Dusty, not Juice, with a disclaimer. If you want your replay of having a higher chance of being commentated by Juice, it is in your best interest to use a Puyo skin that she can easily distinguish. In case you do not know or remember, our friend Juice is colorblind. In general, you want to pick out a Puyo skin that distinguishes the Puyos by something other than the colors. This can be the shape, or their faces, or something similar. The Puyos that I would recommend that you use as skins if you want to use them would be the Gummy Puyos, Aqua Puyos, Fever Puyos, Alphabet Puyos, Retro Puyos, and Flat Puyos. These Puyos all have different faces on the Puyos and different shapes for the Puyos to make them easier to distinguish from something other than color. The Puyo skins that I think are a little bit tenuous that you could use but are not as recommended, I think, are the classic Puyos, the metallic Puyos, the MSX Puyos, and the Sonic Puyos. The classic Puyos and the MSX Puyos have the same faces for all of the Puyos, but they are differently shaped. The metallic Puyos are the same as the Fever Puyos, but the colors are even more desaturated, so even though it has the other markers, I still think that contributes to it being a little bit tough to distinguish. Because it's not like Juice can't see color at all. She can't see some colors. And lastly, the Sonic Puyos actually meet the requirements for recommended Puyos. It's just that the Sonic Puyos are an eyesore, so I wouldn't recommend those. Lastly, the Puyos I would not recommend that you use if you want Juice to be able to commentate your matches are the Capsule Puyos, the Chalk Puyos, the Morolean Puyos, the Block Puyos, the Humanoid Puyos, the Game Gear Puyos, or the Mino Puyos. The Chalk Puyos are especially egregious because all of the Puyos are the exact same shape with the exact same face. They're very, very pastel, so they're difficult to see, and they don't make clear shapes. They don't make the connector shapes when the two Puyos of the same color are connected to each other. They are so difficult to see that even I have difficulty seeing them, and I pride myself on having very good color distinction in my eyes and all that. Every other set of Puyos have the similar problem where they all have the same shape and they don't have any features on the face of them that would make them more easily distinguishable. So I'm just putting that out there. If you want your matches commentated by Juice and not me, you have a higher chance of Juice commentating them if you use Puyos she can actually see. Thank you. Alright, we have another SDGuy match, so I don't have to say it again about color blindness. You know, SDGuy versus Mav. We're watching winners finals. So I found the guy who sent Mav down to losers bracket. It was this match. I guess I spoiled it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I spoiled y'all. I spoiled myself too. I've just been watching this in whatever order. I've not been paying attention. I'm sorry for being a little bit distracted. I do have a hurricane coming my way. But these two are very, very, very precious builders, it seems. They want the big chains all the time. So, they're going to go for the tall chains. They're going to do a lot of little bitty cleanup. They're not going to harass somebody. Just for the hell of harassing them. I want big chains. So Mav's gonna send a big chain. It's gonna cut a little bit, but I think it's going to counter. And that is, yeah. SDGuy does not have enough to respond, so. It's gonna be very precarious at the top of the board, but I don't think that he's really got the space to do anything about that, so that's gonna be game.
Too bad.
Let eternal darkness consume.
These two players are quite evenly matched in my assessment from seeing them both play separately. So it's going to be fun to see how it plays out together. We have our first early attack of the game. That is not ideal. Not for Mav, at least. There's a way that Mav can dig that while leaving the garbage intact. It's just going to take a bit of being crafty. I think they might want to get rid of those extra blues with use that as a harassment chain. That was a very good response to that attack. Let's having a little attack of our own. We got the reds. We don't have the reds. Oh, that's tough. Bit of a red drought here. Yeah. Kind of like unlucky pieces, overcommitting to certain extensions.
Is that it?
Possessed Klug is really arrogant. That's actually what stopped me from liking the Puyo characters a lot, like early on. They're just so arrogant. Finally get a strong 3-chain from Mav, and that is going to set off a lot of damage. He's fishing for a blue, gets the blue. Gets to set off a 2-chain. We got the stun lock. Here it comes. 2-chain. It's a big one. And it's gonna get him.
Too bad.
Let eternal darkness consume.
I won't lie though, there is something that really bothers me about Possessed Klug. It's not that I don't know what it is, it's just that I don't know anybody's gonna get mad at me for it, so I won't say. But it does bother me. Got a bit of a stairs and a tail. That's a very ambitious tail. It's a 2-tail. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see that beautiful tail if you keep being precious about these pieces. Let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to get rid of those blues. Unfortunately, that's going to... Okay, we're going to set off that power 2. That should clean up everything and also send a good attack. He counters with the full chain. Okay, I misjudged the tail a little bit, but yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate the attempt. 2 and 2, neck and neck. Mav is sticking to GTR as their opening chaining form. GTR is not so much a form, it's a transition. It's like weird to give it its own name. Nobody gives any of the other transitions a name. That's a fast 5. Like that they cut their losses early, didn't want the chain to get too out of hand, so they just set it off. That's fair. It looks like both players are struggling with the pieces a little bit. But, Mav seems to have this in the bag. I guess they just weren't ready to handle that power 2, though. That's gonna finish him off. It's gonna be really difficult to come back from that. Yeah, that's game. It is neck and neck. just chilling. They're building. Cleaning. Ah! Oh! The GTR placement is so painful. But they got that blue out fast enough. Just enough for them to be able to offset. That is a really lucky drop. They want to put that yellow there, and they have a little bit of a tail. Maybe set that off for like a nice piece. Whoa. Okay. I'm not good at judging tails, apparently. Don't listen to me, I'm sorry. That was a good 3, though. Oh, the Chain Simulator said 3, my dumbass. I think Mav has some really, really good chaining fundamentals. Like, alright, if it's fundamentals or intuition, whichever it is. Because I think that they're seeing the shapes a lot differently outside of just the standard chaining forms. However, I have been neglecting SDGuy a little bit. Bad habit. I also respect SDGuy's commitment to Sandwich. I don't see people commit to Sandwich very often. I think it's... I like that. I like that about this player. Make kind of a reversible chain there. Nav checks to see what that is. To make sure that they would be in the clear, like popping that as a response. And then they set off the 3 chain. It's gonna be a lot. Huge response. That's a very good offset. Both players are kind of observing each other, responding to each other, like very, like, you know, thoughtful gameplay here. I think Mav really wants a red out of that one, but just has to kind of burn it down. It's gonna set out that one off with the reds. Kind of a nice little rechain. It's getting intense. Because it's like, I know this is like the lowest bracket, but I'm thoroughly entertained. Like, this feels like some of the matches I had in Bronze. And then, you know, SDGuy's like building upwards with these like, kind of like laddery stairs to take some of these hits. In that moment, though, he was building a little bit tight. You know, sometimes efficiency brain can take over. Back and forth is getting a little bit higher stakes because margin time is starting to kick in, so one of them is going to want to take one of these. And SDGuy was trapped.
Too bad.
Let eternal darkness consume.
Mav's going for stairs now. You gotta respect the stairs player. Broke the stairs for quick harassment, though. I don't think that's gonna pay off because SDGuy has a pretty neat sandwich chain, so that's gonna send over a 5. And Mav has no response.
Am I to be sealed away again?
So I won.
There we go. Mav, you're building the base early. It's actually kind of a nice little tail we got there too, like end of the chain. But you do want to focus on that front end extension so that that doesn't get blocked off, because currently SDGuy has a 9 chain that's coming soon. Oh, that's gonna cut with the green on top of that, actually. So you want to set that up quickly. Oh, both players cut their chains. Mav just cut it earlier, so that's gonna be game. Oh. You know, resistance is futile and all that.
You will regret that. Am I to be sealed away again?
So I won.
It is really, really tough. I have to wonder why SDGuy did that.
Huh? How's that?
Is that it?
SDGuy's getting a little used to attacking early, maybe?
Huh?
What's the idea here? I know they're fishing for a yellow bit.
Huh?
Yeah, I gotta abandon that to send back the 3.
Is that it?
Defend against that. It's a very ambitious 3, but they have to opt for the 2. Get a very lucky drop there, and SDGuy is gonna set off their freestyled 5 chain. Both of them are, but I don't think that Mav had something back connected down fully.
So I won.
This is ripping, though. SDGuy's sandwiches are getting a little bit wackier as the time goes on. They're still a little bit sandwichy, but they're still a bit wacky. So he's gonna set that 5 chain off and hope that bro doesn't notice. But he does. He's got a 7 to send out. A 7 with a tail. Quite a good chain.
Oh boy. Too bad.
Let eternal darkness consume.
I really like this song. It's the only thing that makes playing Tetris bearable. Oh, whoops, was I not supposed to say that? Oh no! Now everybody knows I don't like Tetris. Oh no. Oh boy. Nah, I think that was a little bit of a panic. Could have kept going with those yellows because I think they had enough yellows to set that off. So he's gonna have to hope that that doesn't offset, but he's going to have to keep building because it was a bit too weak of a chain to definitively take that game. That is a good response though, like follow-up with that 3 chain. He's got another 3 chain follow-up, which I think he might be extending a little bit. If the game's nice to him, that's gonna do a good 4. He says, I felt nothing when he offsets. That's kinda hard.
Too bad.
Nav takes game 7. Oh lord. These guys are rivals. That was a tail conversion into a harassment. He forces SDGuy to send the main chain. But the main chain was a 6. Nav's got a 5, so this is going to bite him in the ass a little bit.
Is that it?
Although I will say, like, the idea is good. It's just that, you know, currently didn't get rewarded for it.
So I won.
SDGuy is back to the sandwiches. The delicious sandwiches. We got Chuck the Evil Sandwich Making Guy. He's back. We even have a little bit of a kooky extension at the top there. He's going all in on this one. He's gonna set it off. He's gonna knock him down. You're just gonna let him have that, Mav? Oh, I cut. I wasn't paying attention. I gotta stop saying I wasn't paying attention. They can't know I wasn't paying attention. SDGuy, that was cool. I can watch it over again. I could go back and watch it again. I don't think that the cut was intentional. But in case it was, that's always a really good fake out to make it look like you're sending off your main chain, but you're not. So like they think they have more time to build. It's not the worst block off in the world. Wouldn't have put it there if it were me though. And Nav's gonna set off that main chain. It's gonna be a 6, and we're gonna see if SDGuy has enough time to build anything substantial. Oh, it's a 7.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Mav is really making SDGuy work for this one. I'm at the edge of my seat. My tailbone is hurting. But I'm sat. Let's see who's got the endurance to clutch this one out. SDGuy building the transition up before going back to work on the base. That is the order that we like to see, so we can have a nice clean base. It's got a nice neat 9. How is this going to work out for Mav? We cut the end of the chain a little bit. Mav sets off a 6, and SDGuy wins the chain off.
So I won.
Takes the match, takes the round. Good games.